your end clients. By having a lower upfront cost of investment, you've got no license fees to pay before you start off. That fits very well with this iterative process. So you can download an open source content management system, you can set it up, you can have a play with it, see whether or not it fits your requirements, you can kind of see through the marketing gloss that you've seen. You can actually try it with real data, with real scenarios, with real users. And you can slowly build upon it. So you start with something small, do something, add a little bit on it, and slowly grow it. Not only grow it in functionality, but also grow within your own capabilities within an organization. So you can start off small, download a piece of software, play with it, get it working. That might do everything that you need to do. Then you get to a point where you need to add additional functionality to that system. That might be beyond your capabilities. You could go to a vendor, a company that supports open source, that can provide that development capacity for you, and they can then add features onto it as you require. Lower risk of takeover. Vendors buy vendors. That's the way things work. There's vendors out here that have bought other vendors that have bought other vendors. Some out here have, say, 3 different content management system offerings from 3 different companies through 3 different time periods of the company's life. Now, no doubt at some point they're going to decide, okay, well, maybe we want to consolidate those. We don't want to offer 3 different systems, we're going to offer 1 or 2 different systems. What happens to the users that were on that one platform? Okay, maybe the content can be migrated, but what about all the experience that they've spent the past few years building up on how to use the system and how to develop the system? Where does that go? A very large, prestigious UK university spent millions on licensing fees for a student record system from a very large, well-known database vendor. There's rumours that that database vendor might be stopping that student record system. So now what do? They're kind of stuck in a dead end. They've now got to go and look for another product. And finally, it empowers the IT department. This may seem like a strange thing to say, but if you need to make a change or an improvement to a system, most of the time you've got to go back to the vendor to get that change made. Whereas with open source, you have the ability to have your in-house IT team make those changes. I'm not saying that they have the skills necessarily to start with, but they have the ability to make those changes over time. You can actually have a knowledge transfer process where, say you work with an external organisation that has the experience with that content management system, you can build up that experience then over time within your own organisation, which means more and more things can be implemented by your own in-house IT department, which means much rapid turnaround and less costs rather than going back to the vendor.